Hi, welcome to Pilates in a Flash. My name is Jen. This is your 30-minute intense Pilates workout. Today you're going to need for a prop a small pillow, okay, something light and something a little squishy, and then hand weights. Today's hand weights are salsa and tomato basil bruschetta spread. I'm going for something a little smaller but still not too light. Mainly because I don't have any cans of beans in my pantry, so we've had to change it up again today. So those are my hand weights. If you have hand weights at home, you can always use 1 pound, 2 pound, or 3 pound weights. Make sure they're light, okay? If you don't want to use the hand weights, you don't have to. If you don't have cans, you can always use salsa. Be careful, it's glass. You don't want it to break and you don't want a mess, okay? Make sure the space around you is safe and cleared out, and always take the class at your own pace. Today we're going to get started. We've got lots of big leg exercises and of course our abs as well. We're going to lay down on our back to start, okay? So you're going to just move your weights out of the way and take the pillow with you, laying down, taking a nice big deep breath in, arms up, shoulders away from the ears. Nice big sigh to kind of relax down onto the mat, okay? And one more time, breathe in and out. Okay, feeling for your head and your spine kind of relaxing. Feet are relaxed on the mat, thigh bones in line with the hips. Okay, that nice neutral spine with your rib cage down and your pelvis somewhat level. You're just going to start to squeeze the pillow a little bit. So you're going to squeeze the pillow and gently activate the upper arms. Okay, so you're thinking about squeezing the pillow not just from your hands or your forearms, but from underneath the arms. So we're actively moving our arm bone towards our bodies, squeezing our armpits a little bit, ribs underneath the armpits, but making sure we're not engaging our neck. So if you feel your neck, try to relax your shoulders down, move the pillow a little bit lower. You can always bend your elbows a little bit and feel for some gentle activation underneath the arms. So armpits, top of arm bone, okay? Underneath the armpits. We're going to go for 3, for 2, for 1. Good. Holding onto that pillow, giving it a little squeeze. We're going to take right leg into tabletop, left leg into tabletop, and send the pillow back behind us a little bit. And then bring that pillow and just tap our thighs. So with legs in tabletop, we start to anchor our pelvis down towards the ground, pulling our belly button down towards our spine, squeezing those arm bones towards our body. Okay, starting to feel our core engage, helping us keep that nice neutral spine and neutral pelvis. So thinking about the rib cage from the top to the bottom and having all those ribs down on the mat. Okay, we're going to go for 4. Good, breathe in. Shoulders stay down, little squeeze on the pillow so the pillow doesn't go all the way back behind you. 3, 2, good. 1 more. Excellent. Bring your legs down. We're going to squeeze the pillow. We're going to rock our ribs towards one direction. Okay, and then back to center, rock our ribs towards the opposite direction. So it should feel good. Breathe and fill out the rib cage. Don't let the knees, thigh bones, or hips go with you. They stay still and kind of stuck to the mat, okay? And we're just moving our rib cage. Arm bones don't reach, so keep the arm bones heavy in the socket as we put a little gentle squeeze on that pillow. One more time. Good. Excellent. Okay, level the pelvis, anchor the tailbone, bring the legs back up into tabletop. We're going to start to move our arms in a circle, giving that pillow a little squeeze so our arm bones moving around in a circle, but our ribs don't move, so our ribs stay down in one spot. Okay, as our arms go left, we get heavy in the right rib cage. As our arms go left, as our arms go right, we get heavy in the left rib cage. And then we're going to switch the direction we're moving our arm bones. So we're going to go around. Breathe in, pull the belly button down, anchor the tailbone, keep your ribs down on the mat. We're doing 1 more, up, back, and around. Excellent, good. From here, you're gonna move the pillow just beside you. Okay, arms come down towards the mat. You're just gonna move your pelvis now for me. So gently rocking the pelvis, breathing in and out. So as we move our pelvis, we think about moving from our pubic bone or our tailbone. Our low back moves and changes shape a little bit, but we're not smushing out our low back, okay? We're thinking about moving from the low portion of our pelvis. So this starts to activate our low belly, right? Our lower abdominals, as well as some deeper core muscles. I want you to level out your pelvis for me. So level out the pelvis, making sure that the hips and the pubic bone are somewhat level. So for me, I need to send my tailbone towards the mat. Bring the ribs down now. So as soon as I send my tailbone towards the mat, I need to bring my ribs down. And I'm going to bring those legs back up into tabletop. Good. I'm going to do a single leg extension, extending that leg in front of me and then back, and then doing the opposite leg. So as we do this, we notice there's no movement or rocking in our pelvis. Okay, thigh bone moves, knee bends and extends, but it doesn't shift. So we think about breathing in nice and deep, filling up the ribs, especially the ribs between our shoulder blades. So our breastbone is down as our legs extend and bend. Good. We're going to go for 3. Shoulders away from the ears. 2. Pull the belly button down. And I'm going to do 1 more. Good. Just to even it up. Excellent. Pausing here. I'm going to lift and point my toes. Okay. So lift and bend. So I'm just moving through the ankles with my legs in tabletop. Okay, just trying to find some good motion in that ankle, lifting the top of the foot towards the shin. Okay, we're going to go for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Good, I'm going to point my toes and I'm going to send my toes down towards the ground and then lift it back up. Down towards the ground and lift it back up. So still working through our lower abdominals to anchor that pelvis. If this is too far, you don't have to send your foot all the way towards the ground. You just go a little bit, then back, okay? Again, if it's too hard, you just put 1 foot down on the ground and you do 1 foot up in tabletop. There's always modifications, okay? So don't feel like you're stuck with something that's too challenging or that's hurting you. Pull the belly down towards the spine. Pull the abdominals down to anchor the ribs. We're going to go for 2 more. Good. We're going to do 1 more. Excellent. Legs down. Perfect. From here, we're going to grab our weights. My salsa and my bruschetta paste, or whatever it is. Today, shoulders away from the ears. Okay, so my arms, we're going back to our arms. So we're going to bring our legs, we're going to keep our legs where they are. We're going to send my arms overhead and then back down towards our hips. Okay, so I'm anchoring my tailbone. I'm pushing my feet into the ground. I'm keeping my ribs down. I'm breathing in. I'm concentrating on my shoulders staying away from my ears. Okay, because up the road we have a big movement where we keep our arms, our shoulders down, but our arm bones come up. And I need to start with this kind of simple movement. Although I do feel my abdominals working. Okay, shoulders stay down, arm bones lift. Good, we're going to do 2 more. Making sure you have a little curve in that low back. I just smushed mine out, so I need to anchor my tailbone a little bit better there. There we go. 1 more. Pull everything down, belly button comes in. Excellent. Okay, from here, I'm going to move my arms in a more of like a semicircle way. So I'm going to bring my arms up off the ground, and I'm just going to bring my arm bones away from my body and then close them on down, okay? So gently lifting my arms up just below shoulder height and then down. Good. For 3, breathe in. Good. Anchor the tailbone, feet are on the mat, belly button pulls down. 2, ribs stay low. Good. 1 more. Excellent. Good. Okay, from here, legs come up. I'm going to scissor my arms. 1 arm goes overhead, and then I switch. And this is going to be nice and slow. I'm going to make sure my knees are over my hips. Okay. Pulling my belly button down towards my spine continuously. Breathing in nice and deep to fill out the ribs for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Now we're going to go back to those arm circles 1 more time. So I'm going to bring my weights together. I'm going to bring them down towards my thighs, up and around. So it's less of a circle, more of an egg shape, okay, an oval. But I need to make sure I feel for all my ribs sticking to the mat as my arm bones move in that shape or that circle, okay? So I don't let my ribs move with my arm bones. I'm going to reverse it. So I'm going to go the opposite direction, pulling down, getting heavy on the opposite side. So when I go with my arms to the right, I get heavy on the left side. When I go to the left, I get heavy on the right. 1 more time. Good. Excellent, okay? Arms down. From here, taking the pillow, put it between the inner thighs, find your feet, push into your feet, and lift your pelvis up towards the ceiling and down. So starting to wake up our hamstrings and our glutes. Low belly and belly button towards the spine. Okay, find your feet, lift that pelvis straight up towards the ceiling and down. So it's a neutral bridge to start. Squeeze the bum cheeks together as you lift, but try not to tuck the tailbone under. There we go, that's better. So sometimes I kind of take my bum and I shift my pelvis. I don't want my pelvis to shift. I want to feel my bum cheeks come towards together, and it's my sits bones that are narrowing as I lift my pelvis up towards the ceiling. To help me engage my bum a little bit more, pulling down from my abdominals can help stabilize that pelvis so it doesn't move too much as it lifts towards the ceiling, okay? So there's no shifting going on. We're going to do 3, we're going to do 2, push hard into the feet to lift, 1, hold it on up. From here, you're just going to squeeze your bum and you're going to move your thigh bones towards the pillow, then release. And it's very gentle. I'm not squeezing the pillow 110%. I'm thinking about moving my thigh bones from the upper inner thigh, and I'm going about, let's say, 30% effort because I really want to feel from my upper inner thigh moving those thigh bones as I continue to squeeze my bum cheeks together, pull my low belly down, and push into my feet. Okay, there's a lot going on, even though it doesn't look like there's much going on. It does start to feel like work. We're going to go for 5. Good. We're going to go for 4. We're going to go for 3. We're going to go for 2. We're going to go for 1. Hold the squeeze and push your feet away like you're ripping your mat. But you're not ripping your mat, but you're imagining you're ripping your mat away. And then release and lower on down. Lift on up. Squeeze the pillow. Push your feet away. Okay. Level the pelvis. Breathe in. Lower on down. Lift back up. Squeeze the pillow, upper inner thighs. Now, push your feet away from your bum. Okay. Keep squeezing the pillow. Lower on down. Let's do 1 more. Lift. Squeeze the pillow. Low belly down. Upper inner thighs working. Feet move away from you. And lower on down. Good. Excellent. From there, we got our ab curl. So hands come back behind the head. I'm going to straighten out my legs in front of me. I'm going to do ab curl, so eyes on breastbone, okay? Shoulders away from the ears, tuck the chin in as you curl on up. You can see if your pelvis starts to rock towards you. I don't want that pelvis to move, so we pull the low belly down. We pull the belly button in towards the spine to support that little curve in the low back that's still there. When we come up in the ab curl, we keep our low ribs on the mat, and as we come down, those guys stay down on the mat. So we continually work our abdominals and our obliques to help us maintain that anchor point, which is the lower rib cage. Good. We're going to go for 3. We're going to go for 2. We're going to go for 1. Excellent. From here, you're going to pause. Your arms are going to come down towards the sides. Pushing into the right leg, you're going to lift the left leg up. Pushing into the left leg, you're going to lift the right leg up. Okay. So you're getting heavy in the leg that's on the mat, feeling for the hamstrings, glutes, and you're anchoring through your tailbone so that your pelvis doesn't sway as the thigh bone comes up to 90 degrees. Mine's not going to come up to 90 degrees because when it does, my pelvis starts to move and I smush out my low back, okay? So you're only lifting and lowering that thigh bone as much as you can keep that pelvis in a neutral position. Upper ribs down and anchored in the opposite leg. Good, you're going to go for 2, for 1. Excellent, we're going to add this in with our ab curl. So we're going to ab curl, eyes on breastbone. Pushing that breastbone back behind me, anchoring through my my tailbone. So making sure my pubic bone doesn't sway towards my breastbone. Now I'm going to lift my right leg up by pushing into my left leg. And then lower on down. Lift into my ab curl, push into my right leg, lift my left leg up. And lower on down. Ab curl, push into the left leg, right leg lifts. Lower on down. Ab curl, push into the right leg, left leg lifts. Lower now. 2 more. Shoulders away from the ears. So pull the shoulder blades down the back. Okay, 1 more. Excellent. We're going to do our ab curl. Both legs are going to come into tabletop, okay? From here, you're going to pause. Keep that ab curl on. Pull the belly button down. Keep a little curve in the low back. You're going to send both legs away from you, and then bring them on back. Both legs away, and then bring them on back. For 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Pause, little kick. For 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Good. Bend the legs. Bring them on down. Okay. Coming on to our right side, moving through our rib cage, so we're going to lift our ribs up towards the ceiling, letting the upper arm arc over our head, breathing in and out. Okay, 2 more. Breathe in, lift the ribs up and over, and then let the ribs come down. 1 more. Lift the ribs up and over, and then down. Okay, making sure your space is clear. You're going to come down onto your side. You can place the pillow underneath your head if you need to. You're going to start by lifting and lowering that top leg. So top leg lifts and lowers, and making sure that your spine is in a nice straight position. So the back of the head, the back of the ribs would be against the wall in your bum if you were pushed up against the wall. You still have a little curve in that low back, and that top hip is directly above that bottom hip, meaning that the oblique, there's a space between the oblique and the mat, okay? So there's a little space, pulling in our abdominals, so not just laying here and letting everything kind of hang out. And this top leg should be working side bum into hip. For me, I need to think about moving my knee and my toe towards the floor ever so slightly. And then I need to think about moving my thigh bone back in space ever so slightly. And that is when I start to feel more side bum and hip. So it's the little tiny adjustments that can help us feel the muscles that should be working to move our leg away from the midline, okay? So you got to kind of think to that area and feel for what's working. Okay, side bum into hip. Good. We're going to go for 4. We're going to go for 3. We're going to go for 2. We're going to go for 1. Okay, let the leg come up. You're going to hold the leg up here, and you're just going to float the leg forward a little and float the leg back. So it's a really mini kick. Float the leg forward, float the leg back. Float the leg forward, float the leg back. For 2. Good. For 1. Excellent. Circle that leg. So think about that circle coming directly from the thigh bone. And the hips and the knees don't move. The upper body stays super still. My shoulders starting to creep up in front of me, so I'm going to put my fingertips down on the mat. Opposite direction is what I wanted to say. So opposite direction if you can. Swing back, up, and around. Back, up, and around. Hamstring on to swing that leg back in space. Pelvis doesn't move. 1 more. So back, up, and around. Good. Little break. You're going to lift the leg back up in a second. So long leg, stack the hips, pull the belly in. Eyes stay lifted. Flex the foot. You're going to rotate the thigh bone, knee and foot down towards the mat. And then you're going to rotate it up towards the ceiling. Rotate the thigh bone down towards the mat and rotate it up towards the ceiling. I feel a little click. That's fine. It's not hurting me, right? That's okay. Little click is okay. If it feels like it's hurting you in any shape or form, you need to stop, obviously. So there's no horrific pain. Okay, bum is working, hip is working, but I'm not in excruciating pain moving my thigh bone around. Okay, so I'm moving my thigh bone, and I'm thinking about keeping that leg lifted at hip height, and I'm trying to think about not moving my pelvis to move my thigh bone, moving it towards the floor as much as I can move it towards the floor, and then opening as much as I can towards the ceiling. For 3, for 2, for 1. Good. Excellent. Tiny little break. You're going to find your pillow. Put it between the, let's put it between the calves, so just above the ankles. Okay. We're going to do a little inner thigh action here. So you're going to squeeze the pillow from the bottom and the top leg, and then let it go. Squeeze the pillow from the bottom and the top leg. Send your legs back in space a little bit, squeeze, and then look, the bottom leg is going to lift. So you need to make sure that your hips don't move too much as that bottom leg lifts up just a tiny bit, okay? Think long legs. You're not making an arc with your legs, and you're squeezing from the upper inner thighs. So yes, the pillow is down by your calves, but the initiation of the movement is upper inner thighs. I have to close my eyes because other things want to work. I don't know what wants to work. More my bum, my glutes want to take over, okay? So glutes are going to work a little, that's fine, but you need to think about puffing and engaging the upper inner thighs. Good. For 2, good. For 1, excellent. Good. Perfect. Tiny little break. Okay, coming back onto our back. Have your weights handy. Okay. Okay, we're not going to use them just yet. You're going to bring your legs into tabletop for me. Shoulders away from the ears. Anchor down to the ribs, little curve in the back, and anchor the pelvis. Now, as soon as I anchor my pelvis, I have to bring my ribs back down, okay? So my abdominals are on to hold those ribs, especially the low ones, down on the mat. I'm going to straighten my right leg and bend it. Straighten my left leg and bend, okay? My feet are not in that kind of perfect 90-degree angle. They're kind of off. That's fine. It doesn't matter. I need to make sure that my spine and my pelvis are in a neutral position. Okay, so I'm not going to force my thigh bone to be in that 90-degree angle, that perfect straight line, because when I do that, my pelvis tips. So I don't care about kind of how beautiful my leg is on a 90-degree angle. I care about how my pelvis is so that my abdominals can engage because my spine and my pelvis are in a more neutral position. Good. Pulling the belly button down. Okay, we're going to do a straight leg on both. We're going to open our thighs away from each other into a V. And close. Okay, we're going to open and close. Now, when you close, you pull your abdominals down a little bit, anchoring the tailbone. Don't lose the little curve in the low back. So you open as far as you can maintain a pelvis that doesn't move, right? And the ribs on the mat. For 2, open, close. Now, I'm going to open my feet in a first position so my heels are attached to each other, right? I'm going to flex my feet and point my toes. Flex my feet and point my toes. Low belly on is working to hold these legs here, okay? For 3, for 2, flex. Bring the heels down towards your pubic bone, really. And then straighten the legs and squeeze the inner thighs together, okay? Bring the heels down towards your pubic bone. Breathe. Squeeze the inner thighs. 3 more. Pull the belly button down towards the spine. Pelvis doesn't move, bend the knees, float the heels down, flex the feet hard, squeeze the inner thighs. 1 more. Excellent. Straighten the feet, lower the legs on down. Good job. All right. So grabbing those weights, I'm going to bring my legs, I'm going to keep my legs where they are. Okay. So shoulders away from the ears, little bend in the elbows. I'm going to open my arms up a little and close them. Okay. So doing just a little chest fly here, right? But we're not tapping the elbows down onto the ground. I'm going to bring my feet, my knees, and my thighs together and just have a little bit of a squeeze on my legs, okay? From there, I want you to anchor the tailbone, get the ribs down. Good. For 2, for 1. Excellent, okay? I'm going to get you to bend your, open up the arms for me. And keep a little bend in the elbow. I'm going to send my arm bones up a little bit towards over my head and then down towards my hips. Okay, so I'm just moving my arm bone, but I'm not lifting my shoulders up. Squeezing my knees and my feet and my inner thighs towards each other and kind of like floating the weights and creating, let's do the upper. So creating a little bit of like this ballet arms overhead, kind of still in my vision as the arms come up, okay? Shoulders stay down as the arms come up. For 2, for 1 more. Good, excellent. Bring the weights down, we're gonna roll over and we're gonna do the opposite side. So I'm gonna come over and lay on my left side. Top leg is long, bottom leg is bent, okay? Lift and lower that top leg. Lift and lower that top leg. Lift and lower that top leg. Low belly in, hips are stacked. Okay, for me, I need to think about the thigh bone, the knee, and the toe all facing forward. So that's a parallel position so that there's no little opening, right? I'm not opening my thigh bone to lift it straight away. I'm thinking about it long, and I'm thinking about my toes and my knee, my thigh bone facing directly in front of me. And it almost feels like they're facing down a little bit, but I know that is actually more on a parallel position. Okay, so side bum and hip, low belly in, eyes up, ears back. from here, you're gonna hold the leg up, you're gonna float it forward a little and float it back. And think nice long leg. Okay, it's a small little kick. Upper body stays really strong. Pelvis doesn't move. Excellent. We're gonna start to circle in 2 more. 1 more. You're gonna circle the leg. Thigh bone circles. Pelvis doesn't move. Good. Feel for any movement in the pelvis as that leg comes back behind you. You squeeze your hamstring and your glute. Okay, we're going to do the opposite direction. Swing forward, back, up, and around. Forward, back, up, and around. 2, 1. Shoulders away from the ears. Good. Flex the foot, rotate the thigh bone. Okay, the knees and the toes follow. The hip doesn't move. Keep pulling the belly button towards the spine. Good. Rotate down as far as you can go. Rotate up. Okay, so don't just get stuck on the up. Try to go inward as well. For 2, for 1. Excellent. Good. Perfect. Laying back on your back. Okay. Good. So ab curl, shoulders away from the ears. Ab curl, legs in tabletop. Excellent. We're going to extend the right leg out, the left leg out. Pause. We're going to open and close. Open and close. For 3, for 2, for 1. Bend the knees. Come on down. Good. We're going to add on. So we're going to add on the arms and we'll go unsupported head. If it's not comfortable for your neck, you don't have to do it. Keep one hand back behind the head and do 1 arm at a time, or just keep the hands behind the head, okay? So legs are going to come into tabletop. Anchor the tailbone, right? So you don't get to rock the pelvis back. Pelvis stays perfectly still. Knees are over the hips. Ribs down, belly button down, okay? Now, ab curl, eyes on breastbone. Extend the legs, extend the arms. Open the arms and the legs at the same time. Shoulders stay away from the ears. For 4, for 3, keep the ab curl. 2, breastbone pushes back behind you. 1, good. Okay, come on down. Okay, second variation, we're going to do just the legs first and then the arms. Ab curl, bring it on up. Legs come out. Okay, legs are going to do a small little circle. We've done these before. And nothing moves in the pelvis. So you keep that ab curl, eyes on breastbone. You circle the legs down and around. And you think about keeping everything nice and still except for those thigh bones moving. Good. And now we go the opposite direction. We come down, out, and around. And I make them really small, right? Because they don't have to be big. They can be less circles, more like that egg shape. That's fine, or a square. Okay, 1 more. Down and around. Good. Bend the knees. Uncurl. I'm actually going to take a little break before we do our big move where we add in our arms, mainly because I don't want to overload my neck. So we're going to go on to our big leg move, okay? So we're going to go back onto our left side, okay? Head on our arms. I'm going to kind of scooch back up onto my mat here. Both legs long, okay? So 2 long, straight legs makes the upper body have to work harder to stay in control and to stay steady. You take that top hand and you come onto the tips of the fingers, shoulders away from the ears. So you're going to start by lifting that top leg up and down. Bottom leg is really strong as well, okay? So you can point your toes if you want to. I find it helps to think nice strong legs, okay? Nice long strong legs. So this leg is going to lift and lower for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Excellent. From here, you're going to flex the feet. For me, you're going to come into a first position, heels touching together. So my bottom foot, I'm up on like the back toes, the pinky toe, okay? The top foot is flexed, and now I'm going to move my legs back in space a little. As soon as I do that, I feel more inner thigh. Bum cheeks squeeze together, keep a little curve in the low back. I'm going to squeeze my legs really hard, upper inner thighs working, and I'm going to try and lift both legs up off the ground by an inch, and then lower on down. It's very small. Squeeze the upper inner thighs, bum cheeks, quads are on, lift both legs up and then lower them down. You can barely see me moving. That's how small it is, because I don't want my hips to move. Squeeze the inner thighs together, shoulders away from the ears, lift up and lower on down. Now we're gonna lift and hold and do the full version. So we're gonna squeeze, power up the legs, lift them up, and I'm gonna take the top leg and the bottom leg and I'm gonna move them away from each other and towards each other. But I'm gonna keep the legs lifted, pull in the belly button, lift the waistline off the mat so that my hips aren't smushed and that top waist stays long for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I forgot how hard this one was. Good job. If you can only do the top leg moving, the bottom leg has to stay on the ground, that's fine as well. Okay, I'm going to swing it around into the opposite side. So come on down. Okay, both legs long. Stack the hips. Lift and lower to start. Okay. Lots of inner thigh action, but still works quads. Okay. Works glutes because you have to externally rotate the thigh bone. We got a lot of hip going on. Okay, now I'm going to flex the feet. Shoulders away from the ears. My face is going to get red. I'm going to glue my heels together. Power up my quads. Okay, straighten the legs and lift both legs 2 inches, maybe, off the ground. And that's it. Okay, a little break. Squeeze, lengthen, lift a tiny, tiny bit. You need to think about lifting from your inner thighs, right? So inner thighs power up, quads are just straightening the legs to lift the kneecaps, lift both legs up and lower on down. What I don't want you to do is this. So if you can see the difference. So lifting strong and a little bit is great. Lifting high and moving the top hip to lift is not, okay? So you have to fight to keep the hips in line in that little gap between the waistline and the mat, so that both waistlines stay long, okay? So it's small, even though some people teach it really big, okay? Squeeze, lift, tiny lift, lower down. Squeeze, low belly in, bum cheeks together, lift up, pause, lift the top leg, lower the bottom leg, and tap. Lift the top leg, lower the bottom leg, and tap. Top leg, blah, 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 blah. We're gonna go for 5, 4, 3, long legs, 2, don't lose the waistline, 1, excellent, let it go. Okay, last ab exercise we're gonna do and then we are done. We're a little over time today, just by a smidge, but that's okay. Hands come back behind the head. Okay, nice big deep breath in. Legs come up. We know what's happening with our legs, now we add in our arms. Do that ab curl. Keep a little space in the low back, extend the legs straight up in front of you, extend the arms. We're going to open the legs and the arms at the same time, circling down, around, and up. Keeping it small, keep the ab curl on. Keep that little curve in the low back, which means you pull the belly button down towards the spine. Breathe in. Opposite direction, eyes on breastbone, okay? So sweep out, up and around, and you keep it small and controlled. Keep the circles really tiny. Thigh bones move, pelvis does not move. One more. Sweep down, out and around. Excellent. Uncurl, legs down, arms down. Great job. Okay, bring your legs nice and wide. Windshield wiper those legs. Move your head. Amazing. Okay. Good. I'm going to bring one leg across the other. Okay, I'm just going to cross it. And then I'm going to shift the left leg and bring the right leg over just a smidge. I'm not collapsing all the way to the floor. I'm just doing it a little bit so I feel a little stretch in my bum and my hamstring. Okay, so I'm not twisting my low back all the way over. And I'm going to switch. Okay, left leg comes across the right leg moves over, left leg comes over a smidge as my right leg falls towards the floor a little. Good. All right, guys. Coming over onto your right side, coming on up. Thank you very much for joining me this week. I hope you felt your abs and your inner thighs especially. I will see you next week. Bye.